This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 10, and it reads, Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. The book of Matthew, chapter 12, verses 36 and 37, verse 36, and it reads, But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. Verse 37, For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be likened to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barzal from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. All right, right here on the screen, you know, you got this new thing going around for the women. As you can see, a lot of Jake women, Israelite women, going around saying that they would rather choose a bear in a wild than the men. And this is just a continuation of the madness that has been going on for several years now. Let's see here by my notes. At first, you have they were divesting, okay, from so-called black men or Israelite men. After that, they were calling the police to reduce this is on the Cynthia G. One of the, what forget the name of that call, but anyway, they were glad to call the police because they knew that there was a high probability that the so-called black man was going to get unalived by the police. I think this the statistic at that time that a unarmed so-called black man was unalived by the police every 18 minutes. They wanted to knock it down to 15 minutes. Okay. After that, you had the movement of where they wanted to abort male babies, so-called black male babies, even after they were born. Okay. That was the third thing. And then, at that point in time, I think that the men just got tired of it. And that from those three things, we know that the passport bros were birthed. Now, again, I have no horse in the race with that, but, I can understand why. The so-called Jake has taken that stance with trying things elsewhere because apparently it's not working with the so-called black woman. All right, and now even after that, you got this 4B movement now, which is the feminists over in I think one of the Koreas. I mean, come on now. It just keeps getting worse. At the end of the day, those women, and it's shown. At the end of the day, they're going to go back to the men. But right now, I think the so-called Americanized black woman is, it's a problem. It's a problem. You're not going to win in this battle according to the scriptures, and I'm going to prove it. And from since the 4B movement, you now have what's called the choosing of the bear over the man, which is the picture I have here. All right, and like I read in that Matthew chapter 12, verses 36, I'll get it again. And these are words of Yahweh Shai. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. Verse 37. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. All right. So everything that you say, you're gonna have to give an account for. And choosing the bear over the man, especially an elect man, was not a smart thing to do. Was not a smart thing to do. All right. And how I'm going to prove it's not smart? Let's get Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13. And it reads, "A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing." Okay. So someone that's a fool is the one who does not have discernment or judgment. Okay. And how do we know she is simple and knows nothing? Because of her goddamn mouth. All right. Because of her mouth. And I'll prove that. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 7. And it reads, "A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul." Okay, so you going around saying this, a lot of stuff has been said in all of those different movements. Okay, all right, but you chose the bear, right? You chose the bear, all right, or you're choosing the bear. Well, a lot of those women, they like to call themselves God-fearing women, and when your words, your actions say otherwise. Because if you were a God-fearing woman, you would know that the Lord is dealing with the elect men. All right. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verses 30 and 31, and it reads, "Thus shall they know that I, Yahweh, their power, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith Yahweh our power." Verse 31, "And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your power, saith Yahweh our power." It says the flock of his pasture are men, not bears. Okay? Not bears, but you chose the bear. All right? This is also Proverbs chapter 8, beginning in verse 1. And it reads, "Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice?" Verse 2, "She standeth in the top of the high places, by the way in the places of the paths." Verse 3, "She crieth at the gates, and at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors." Here's the point. Verse 4, "Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man." Not bears, but you chose the bear, not the man. Okay, that's going to be a problem in a day of judgment, just like Matthew 12 and 36 said. All right, and how do we know that? The prophecy of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 6. And this has got to be happening, Slakia, beginning verse 4 through 6. And it reads, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem." Because remember, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. "And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." And who is that? That's his elect, his prophets. All right. As Isaiah 58 and 1 tells us to cry aloud, spare not, and show my people their transgressions. Let me just go ahead and get that so I won't butcher it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 1. Yeah. And it reads, "Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins." So these are your prophets that are crying and sighing for those abominations. Okay. Going back to Ezekiel, chapter 9. All right. So that's the elect men. All right. Those are the ones who are receiving that mark. Okay, which is the thawah. Goes back to the Hebrew word thawah, which means exemption from judgment in the day of judgment. Okay, going back to those idle words that you're going to be justified or condemned by. Okay, verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. So you got this angel, those who don't have the mark, you know, going around releasing hell, on the people who do not have that mark of exemption, the wah. Okay. Verse 6. Slay utterly old and young. Okay. Men and women, both maids. Okay. Women, little children, which includes little girls. All right. And boys and women. Okay. So 3 times you're named in the scripture, Israelite women. Okay. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. Okay, that's at the Wah. And begin at my sanctuary. Okay. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And that's you leaders, okay? Especially of these other camps teaching that false doctrine right now. You know? Yeah. Yeah, he's going through about to take everybody out, okay, who does not have that mark, all right, in that day of judgment. And you won't be able to escape in that day either, you know, like he says in Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Let me go ahead and get that while I'm thinking of it. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. And it reads, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So once that judgment starts rolling, that's it. It is going to happen. All right? It is going to happen. And like I said, there will not be any escape from it. All right? This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, beginning at verse 18. And it reads, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. And that word woe means destruction. Okay. And you got these Christian churches. It's going to be one glad day when the Lord comes. No, it's going to be utter destruction, bloodshed everywhere. Okay. All over this place. All right. As the scriptures say, the earth is going to reel to and fro. All right. Like a drunkard. With all those nuclear missiles flying and all the destruction going on, with the concentrated laser beams. You're going to have the nuclear wars and the chariots doing destruction on this place. All right. Okay, we're back in verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Not one glad day, as these Christian churches keep telling y'all. Okay. Verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him. Uh-oh. So bears are going to have a role in that destruction, in the day of destruction. Okay. It's an analogy here, but just saying, everywhere you try to get away from it, it's going to get worse. You're not going to escape it. All right. Read it again. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. There's going to be no escape from this judgment. All right. And, once again, you women, have been running your mouth. Running your mouth. I'm going to get back to that Proverbs 9 and 13 here next. I wanted to cover something in that. Verse 20. And it reads, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? That's because all those mushroom clouds from all the nuclear missiles. You know, total darkness. It's going to block out the sky with all the destruction that's going on. Okay, but here again, you chose the bear, and it's telling you here, those animals, are going to have a part of that, work, and we know that according to Sirach chapter, it's in the Apocrypha, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, beginning at verse 28, and it reads, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them." And, those spirits of vengeance are going to come in any form, man, beast, you know, uh, fire, destruction, floods, you know, all forms of death. You just had the one sister who divested, met up with an Edomite, and her body parts are spread all over the place. You know, you had the one guy. I think I got part of the story, but I'm not sure exactly why, so I won't state it here. But she was in the in like the courtyard or the parking lot of an apartment complex, and whatever happened, he gunned her down right there. All right. So a lot of this judgment is coming, and as we read in Ezekiel chapter 9, you know, a lot of it's going to happen with the women because of your mouth. All right. Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. And that wicked is, the wicked, Esau, Edom, as well as the wicked of 2/3 of our people. Okay. 2024 has been declared the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, and it is not disappointed. We have to be at the very beginning of it. A lot of judgment has been going out. All right. And like I said, though, I was, going back to that Matthew 12 and 36, being justified or condemned by your words, going back to that Proverbs 9 and 13, it says a foolish woman is clamorous. She's simple and knoweth nothing. I want to get that word clamorous, because once again, it's her mouth. And this is the Merriam-Webster's online dictionary. Okay. Number 1, marked by confused din or outcry, tumultuous. Okay. Noisily insistent. That's just loud. And that confusion, you would pick a bear over the man, especially the man who was made for you, like every other man is made for his nation of women. But you chose a bear. Okay. I'm gonna go down here. Synonyms: blatant, clamant, squawking, vociferating, yawping, yowling, caterwauling, obstreperous, vociferous, yawping. Choose the right synonym for clamorous. Vociferous, clamorous, blatant, strident, boisterous. Obstreperous means so loud or insistent as to compel attention. Yep, that's y'all. It's without a doubt. Okay, you see that on a daily basis. Vociferous implies a vehement shouting or calling out. Yep, that's you too. Clamorous may imply insistency as well as vociferous and demanding protesting. You don't know how to shut the fuck up. All right. And like I said, those words are going to come back to bite you. Blatant implies an offensive, bellowing, or insensitive loudness. Man, this just gets worse and worse for y'all because of that mouth. Strident suggests harsh and discordant noise. Yep. Boisterous suggests a noisiness and turbulence due to high spirits. Yep. Obstreperous suggests unruly and aggressive noisiness and resistant to restraint. Yeah, that clamorous, I swear, it hit the nail on the head with how you all run your mouth, okay? But once again, you chose the bear, all right? Which wasn't a smart decision. And here's why. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12. And it reads, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Very, very valuable. And he's talking about an elect man here. You know, you can get that in the Wisdom of Solomon 3. All right. Even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir. Okay. Yeah. So this man is going to be very, very valuable. He's talking about, he's going to try his people. That's that, when you go into Zechariah 13, 8, and 9, the 1/3, you're going to have the 144,000 rulers and judges, and then the innumerable multitude. That 144,000 are all men, okay? And then there will be men among that innumerable multitude. But, he's talking about that man is going to be valuable. Why? Because I proved it to you. You know, his flock, the flock of his pasture are men. The wisdom, his wisdom, he's given to men. Who did he make in his image? Man. Okay. Specifically the Israelite man, because the law was only given to the nation of Israel, according to Leviticus 26 and 46, Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20. All right. So he said, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Not a bear, but your dumbass chose a bear. All right. The book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1. I got a feeling this is going to be coming out a lot more than it has been. All right. As of late. Book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1, and it reads, And in that day, day of judgment, 7 women shall take hold of one man, an elect man, not a bear, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. You know, the Bible is, right here is describing that Israelite woman, especially, the so-called black woman to a T. We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. We don't need your money. You know, that's what you've been chanting. You broke anyway. All right. But see, we know that is going to change in that day. All right. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach or our rebuke, our correction. And how are you called by the name? Okay. Marriage. Okay. And I'm not talking about marriage uh, according to the laws of this country. Marriage and our custom, it's actually sex. All right. When a man went into a woman. All right. Because, what she's saying here, now she knows that the value of a man is more than all the money she could ever have. Okay. She needs that man. All right. 7 women. And that number 7 is just the number of completion. That'll be a complete number for that particular man. For one man, it could be 2. For another man, it could be 20. All right. We just don't know. But it would be a complete number for that elect man. But she knows right here that, all her degrees, all her certificates, all her accomplishments won't mean a damn thing in the day of judgment. That's what this prophecy is saying. All right, and I'm going to prove that. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 4. And it reads, Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. All right. Righteousness delivereth from death. And who's the righteous? The so-called Israelite man. Solomon tells you that. All right. In Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verses 26 through 28, when he did the survey. All right. He didn't find one righteous woman, but out of 1,000. But out of 1,000 men, he found one. All right, which we know according to the scriptures that the elect is going to be like a drop to a wave. All right, so it's going to be a remnant, a small number out of all of the Israelites that are here. All right, so yeah, and that Isaiah 4:1, she's going to realize all those accolades, all those accomplishments, all those degrees, all those big salaries. It don't mean a damn thing. It's not going to mean a damn thing in the day of wrath. All right. It's going to be that elect man. All right. And this is, I'm going to close out with this one. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32. And I'm going to go straight to the point, verse 2. And it reads, "And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as a rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land." And they're gonna realize the power of this man, okay, of this elect man. Something's gonna stand out about him, and they're gonna see it. It's the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that's gonna be on him. All right, all right, and that's answered in verse 3, and it reads, "And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken." So a lot of you women gonna straighten the fuck up in that day of judgment, because you're gonna realize you're gonna need that man. The only thing is, if it's not the Lord's will for you to be with him, you fucked. That's all to it. Straight up. You are fucked. So while the doors of mercy are still open, you better repent for all that shit you've been saying. All right? And get right. Because, the prophets see what's about to happen. And it is not going to be pretty here in the coming days. All right? So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying for the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwame Asharala. We got next. Shalom.